It is Saturday, January 16th, 2021, and I am at Mounds State Park. Here we're at the, did you see this? The Bronnenberg house. Bronnenberg family, first family to farm this land, and they recognized and realized that something about the mounds was special. They didn't quite know what it was, but they realized that they should probably try to preserve them. So when they farmed, they did not farm over the mounds, or at least none of the ones that they could see. And so we have the mounds that are still here. They preserved them, and so we have the mounds that are still here. So we'll take a hike and look at some of the mounds. So coming up here, let me clip you on the coat there. Coming along this trail here. It's a snowy day today, lots of snow, so we'll get some good images here as we hike along. Okay, so you should see coming up here in the distance the big mound, the Great Mound here. So we'll walk over there, walk into the mound, and then continue on the hiking. But just wanted you to get a view of it as we come in. There's some construction going on. It's not going on today, but I don't know if you can tell, this asphalt path that I'm walking on is new. It was not here when I was at Mounds a month ago. This is a pretty new one, and there's some more construction equipment around. Not entirely sure what they're doing. Well, looks like we might not be able to get into the mound. Yeah, so they're building an accessible ramp here. So, we can probably get in, swing in here. Just be careful. Okay, so here we are inside the Great Mound. Entering the Great Mound. You can see that as they built it, they dug out underneath and piled it up. So it looks, from this side, it looks like it's about 10-15 feet high, but it's because they dug the ground down. From the outside, it looks like it's about 6 or so feet level to ground level. Anyway, so here we are, the Great Mound. It's difficult to see, but there are spots in the mound where it dips down a little bit, and that aligns with certain astrological events. So the sun rising on the solstices happens at one of these particular dips. I can't point any of them out right here, but if you come here inside the Nature Center, they've got a really good interactive exhibit, model of the mounds with some lights. Then you can push some buttons to simulate the sun at various days of the year, and you can see how things line up. But anyway, okay, so we'll do some more hiking, and I will make more recordings as we see more exciting things. So at one point, there was the interurban passenger train that ran across Indiana, and in particular, one of the stops for the interurban train was here at what's now Mounds State Park. There was an amusement park after the Ronenberg family sold the land. It became an amusement park, and there's still remnants of this amusement park. So we have these concrete holes, I guess, casings, foundations that used to hold up the train station. So this would be where people would get on and off the train station, and so there's still these concrete foundations there. A couple other places in the park where you can see evidence of the old amusement park. So I'll point out a couple of those as we're on camera. But more hiking. Right here, as we sort of slowly make our way down and get to the river. So I'll just keep quiet here for a minute. As I make this turn, you might start to see the river. Probably can't see it very well, just yet. But I'll just keep the camera on while we hike this part. Okay, just up here on the left, we get a pretty good view of the river. It is muddy right now, so some evidence in the mud here of other people coming down, a couple of people slipping. There's some slip marks there, but here we are along the White River. And so a lot of the trail continues alongside the river, but so here we go. And we'll do more video here in a minute. More along the river here. It's a nice stretch of the trail, so I'll film this. I also want to point out over here on the right, this giant concrete cylinder. It's perhaps fallen down the hill. It's upside down right now, but this used to be a drinking fountain at the amusement park. So this is the bottom. And that hole you see on the top is where the water came into the drinking fountain. But it's upside down right now. But just more evidence of the amusement park. Some snow is I don't think it's snowing right now. I think it's just snow being blown off the trees. But I keep getting whacked in the face with big snow chunks. Okay, and more hiking. So I want to point out here, we've got some reasonably fresh, probably within the last week, beaver activity here. So how can I tell that this is beaver? A couple things. So first of all, you can almost see kind of the tooth marks here. It looks like somebody's kind of scraping away at it. This was a pretty big tree that it chopped down and carried off, but you can almost see the tooth marks here, and they're kind of almost parallel with the tree. So that's one way. Second thing is there's almost always this little tail at the end, right, where the tree falls over before the beaver's done, and then it just kind of chomps off that little bit. So there's almost always a little tail, right? So you can see it on this one, you can see it here on this one. But yeah, so some beaver activity there. Probably within the last week, maybe. I don't see much. I don't see much wood chips. A little bit of wood chip here underneath the snow, but not a whole lot. So probably, like I said, probably about a week old right here. Hi. So look, I don't know. Probably not going to see any beaver tracks here in the mud. I'm not seeing anything. But so there is a family of beavers living. They're not entirely sure where, but they do not have their dam, the Beaver Lodge, on the White River. So they think that it's somewhere here in the wetlands, just off the White River. But they don't know, and this is a protected area, so you're not allowed to go in there off trails. It's a very sensitive ecological area. It's called a fen, F-E-N. There are very few of them, and particularly in Indiana, very few of them. So it's a swampy kind of area. But that's where they think the beavers live. However, they're not sure. But they do see beaver activity along the White River, but there is not a lodge or a dam on the White River. So it's got to be somewhere not too far away, and over here in the wetlands seems the most likely place. Okay, more hiking. So the snow's starting to come down a little bit again. I don't know, maybe more of a freezing rain rather than snow, but again, here's a nice part of the park. So we'll just film me walking here for a couple minutes. take this little side trail out here, get a nice view of the river. Just gonna do a nice slow pan here from the top of this ridge overlooking the White River. We're covered in snow. Okay, so I'm on a trail that will take us to an access site where you can get into the Eel River. People go there and swim sometimes, or White River, sorry. People go there and swim sometimes, but this trail sees a little bit less traffic than some of the other trails. I will say that Mounds is a pretty popular state park. It's about 45 minutes from downtown Indianapolis. It's right here in Anderson. Muncie's not too far away. And so, especially on the weekends, you'll get a lot of people coming up here for the weekend or for a day hike. Again, another giant tree. No leaves on that. I think that's a red oak. I'm not positive about that. But Mounds, yeah, so you'll get a lot of people here, especially on the weekends, and really popular with runners and joggers. You see a lot of them here, especially in nice weather. But even today, I've encountered a handful of them on the trails. So I have, on the trail we're currently on, seen snakes before. Probably not going to see a snake today. That would be very surprising with the weather, but who knows? Come down here to the river a little bit. Check out the river. See if we see any tracks. It's a nice, peaceful view of the river as the snow's coming down. Get back up on the trail. So this has been one of my quieter talks, right? A lot more just letting you see, a lot less of me talking. I don't know, in editing, maybe I'll edit out a lot of the quiet parts, but I just feel like with the snow coming down, you don't really need me to narrate things. You might be able to see the sandbar up there in the river. And that's where people will swim sometimes in warmer weather. Again, some giant trees down here near the river. This land wasn't so good for farming, so the trees were allowed to stay. Okay. And here we are at the access site, the sandbar, where we see people in the summertime swimming, playing. Here's a nice spot where I tried taking a photo, but it's just not gonna fully capture what I'm seeing up here. So they've got this little patio built out, kind of out over the edge here, looking into this ravine where this creek flows here at the bottom. But I just can't capture everything I see in here on a photo, so do a little bit of video of it. So I'm on my way back. I'm almost back to the car. So this will be the last video segment. So just a little bit here of walking through the woods. And then I'll head back to the car. Okay, so that'll finish it up. I just want to say thanks for taking a hike with me.